Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. This is the 14 First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock here on Wednesday, December the 3rd. I'm glad you're with us tonight. It's a little warmer here in the stream than it is outside. If you have questions or comments, you can put them on the 14 News Facebook page, and we'll check in with you here in just a little bit. Well, we had clouds today, and that really screwed up the forecast high. We were hoping for about 38 to 40, and we had to settle for 30 degrees today. Overnight, we have colder air moving in and some snow showers, too. Most of that activity has kind of fizzled. We had some snow showers earlier up around Fairfield and in southern Illinois, but those have already moved out. Wind chills are going to range from 15 to 25 degrees tomorrow, and we're still focusing on maybe some rain or snow coming our way this weekend. So lots coming down the pike here, but a lot of the same stuff too, just cloudy and cold. The satellite and radar pic shows that little batch of snow that was going earlier, and it just kind of dries up as it hits the drier air there to the east. Here at home, we expect clouds overnight and clouds during the day on Thursday with a northerly wind. Friday, we may actually clear out a little bit. I'm cautiously optimistic on that one, however. And then we get into Saturday with a good chance actually of getting up to around 40 degrees or so. You see lots of outlooks or special weather statements here. That's what those lines are for the different weather offices. We do not have one, but these are statements for snow squalls and snow showers where they're expecting maybe some travel impacts. We are not here, of course, just cloudy and cold. We're currently at 30. That again is the best we've been able to do all day long. Our wind has kicked around to the northwest. Therefore, we bring down colder air overnight, and we should settle around 20 degrees just before sunrise. We were down to 24 this morning and only up to 30 this afternoon. That is not a big spread, 6 degrees. And at this hour, we are 7 degrees warmer than we were last night at this time. Kind of cold comfort, so to speak. Degrees from normal on the low, we were 8 degrees cooler. And for the afternoon high, we were almost 20 degrees below that normal high of 48. So we really have had an early onset of winter. We are still looking for that first above freezing day since Monday, when we only got up to 35. For the month now, and actually for the season, we have had 1.1 inches of snow. So we're not going to get shut out on snowfall this season. And of course, for the month, we are a little behind, not much, and for the year, still a big surplus. And the average temperature so far for these 3 days, about 12.2 degrees colder than the normal. On our commute forecast, it's going to be cloudy out there and cold, a little windy too. The next major weather maker is to our south. It's not going to get up here though, at least not in its current form. High pressure will drop out of Canada and move across Illinois and Indiana tomorrow and Friday, keeping everybody dry but cold. And then as that high moves on to the east, we will get the return flow on that, meaning temperatures have a chance to warm up then on Saturday to around 41. And look at that, 49 degrees by Wednesday. We'll see if that one goes through. Typically on that longer range, you'll see this exciting number, and then it kind of comes back down. And one of the reasons that happens, in case you're interested, I don't know if you are or not, nobody asked, but I'll tell you anyway. When you see these number forecasts, the deterministic or modeled guidance, right, for what the temperature will be each day, what happens over time is the numbers will revert to climatology, and that's because the model is using what should happen as kind of a baseline and then plays the equations off of those numbers. So that's why we would know, for example, if it's going to be much colder than normal, much warmer than normal. In the absence of any kind of signal for, say, rain or snow or severe weather, whatever it is, then the numbers will quietly go back to climatology. And in our case, 49.33 is the normal high-low for this time of the year. So that's why I say keep an eye on it, because it'll probably fizzle a little bit too. Speaking of fizzle, I was in here griping about the GFS model yesterday because it kind of stiffed me during the 4 o'clock news. We had the earlier model run from 6 a.m., 12Z, and then in the afternoon, 18Z or noon, we get the second set of numbers that typically comes in around 3 or 4. Well, it came in at 4, and so at the beginning of the newscast, it was showing snow all over the place Sunday, and then by 4:30, when all the data was in, nothing. Today, as I mentioned yesterday here on the stream show, the GFS has come back around begrudgingly to the idea we might have some snow or rain on Sunday. Timing, keep an eye on that now around noon, and a system kind of gliding along or south of the Ohio River, which is in spirit similar to what it was showing yesterday, morning's model, but not nearly as pronounced or as exciting to look at. And then maybe some rain next week. That would be Wednesday for that. All right, so let's compare that to the European, which didn't exactly break my heart here. It has stayed pretty consistent with the forecast for something on Sunday, and the European continues to stick with rain. In other words, temperatures above freezing, and the freeze line or transition line comfortably to our north, and it stays as rain. So am I going to jump ship on the GFS? Well, I don't know at this point. It's interesting that the two are still very far apart. But that, again, is not uncommon when we're looking, down the line there to Sunday. I would hope by tomorrow and certainly by Friday we have a little more clarity on what will happen on the weekend. So the bottom line here is there's uncertainty, rain, snow possible on Sunday. Right now the amounts are not looking too terribly impressive either way. So I'm not sure that it will generate any kind of impacts out there. 25 degrees tonight with a few flurries off and on. Then tomorrow we get up to 31, and that's it. We start to warm a little bit on Friday, up to 38, 41 on Saturday. That, of course, is the Henderson Christmas Parade. There in downtown. We'll be parading down Main Street, over on Washington, and back on Elm. And it will be Arden Gregory and Byron Douglas and me will be in there. So we hope to see you down there. I guess it would be I will be in there, right? Byron Douglas, Arden Gregory, and I will be in the parade. Or I would say the parade on Saturday, it will be Byron Douglas, Arden Gregory, and me. Stickler for grammar, right? I knew it didn't sound right when it went out. Anyway, the temperature outlook through the 17th of December, still running cooler than normal and drier than normal too. And we have a pet pick for you tonight. This will get you in the holiday spirit. Arlo, the famous Arlo there of Lamar, Indiana, camped out waiting for Santa there under the tree. So that's a comforting picture there. All we need is a fire in the fireplace. I should have photoshopped one in. But a beautiful dog there and a beautiful setting. So thanks, Arlo. I don't know who sent the picture. It just said Arlo. Maybe Arlo does it himself. All right, let's have a look at your questions and comments, if there are any. Sure, the first one's going to say, get off the stage. Let's see. Jennifer Brown, you know why don't they take this off my phone? I do not want to listen to you. If I want to listen to you, I will turn on the TV. I don't know. Well, you can't block me unless you turn off your notifications. You're probably getting that on the 14 News or 14 First Alert Weather app. And of course, you don't have to listen. You can scroll right by or not even pay attention to it. So, but I'm glad you're a loyal fan, and God bless. All right, Susan Daly, good evening. It sure is cold. It is indeed. We just can't seem to find any warm air anyplace. All right, let's see. Oh, we have a lot of comments there. Jeanette Rice, good evening. She's ready for spring. Jared Verwain, motorcycle is ready for spring. June Huffines, good evening. Good evening. Naomi Lynn, good evening. Yvonne Harrell, are we going to have an ice storm? No, we are not. At least not this week. All right. And what else do we have in here? Let's see. And then we have Jennifer Brown. Satisfied customer there. All right, so we will move right ahead here to a question that came up. Actually, this was emailed to me today, talking about the rate of change of daylight and why our sunrise times right now, or sunset times rather, are kind of fixed. They're right around 4:31. And the reason is because of our latitude. We are about 38 degrees north of the equator, and therefore our shortest day, in other words, the earliest sunset, the latest sunrise, those numbers don't exactly match up. They're offset by about 7 to 8 days. And so what happens is we get our earliest sunrise, or sunset rather, and then it goes along, and now we start adding minutes here, but then the latest sunrise catches up with it. And so we're always a little bit behind. And the reason we get these changes in daylight have to do with the tilt of the Earth, 23.5 degrees. And I'll show you right now that we are down here in November, or December now, and it kind of flatlines. So if you look at November, we had lost nearly an hour of daylight, 50 minutes. Prior to that, it was 71 minutes. So it kind of accelerates here. And then in December, it sort of slows down. And December and June are similar. They have the smallest rate of change because we are near the extremes. The solstice, right? Either in the summer it'd be the longest day. In the winter, the summer solstice is the lowest the sun can get, and therefore the shortest day. And we will lose about 13 minutes of daylight during December. One interesting note is that on the first day of winter there, around the 20th or 21st, we do not have the shortest day. Our shortest day is actually a few days beyond that. And then we will start to add minutes of daylight in December. In January, especially in about the second, third, and fourth week, we start to pour on the minutes of daylight again, and we pick up about 41 extra minutes of daylight, so that by February then we accelerate again, adding 52 minutes, March 71 minutes, and so forth as we approach spring and then summer. So the rate that we are losing daylight slows down this time of the year as we approach the solstice, which will be in a couple of weeks, and then it kind of holds there for a little bit, and then we will begin to add daylight slowly at first, and then it picks up. It's kind of like a parabolic function. If you know your math there, you know, you have some that kind of go like that, and others where you have a very steep rate of change. And so we have the steep rate of change coming beginning late January into February. So the days will get longer again, I promise, and it's just a matter of sitting it out through December and about the first half of January, about 6 more weeks, and then we'll see some real positive, noticeable improvements in the amount of daylight each day. I appreciate you watching the stream show here every night, and if you don't want that notification, just turn off notifications, but we do send that right before these streams to alert you that we're on. I'm not sure what Facebook does anymore, whether it still notifies for a live broadcast or not. But we do that just so you'll know we're here, and don't want to be a pest. You certainly never have to watch. We're not going to force anybody through this. But I appreciate those of you who did, and we will see you on 14 News at 10. Have a good night and stay safe.